I saw a lot of movies this year, which means it's that annual time where we all go back through all the movies we saw and are like, oh yeah, I forgot about that one. Well, that's not making either list. Okay, let's get on with our best of 2021 list, starting at number 10. Number 10, Benedetta. That's right, Paul Verhoeven went ahead and made himself an old-school nunsploitation movie. The film is, of course, inspired by a true story, where I'm sure this convent was full of smoking hot nuns, lesbian sex, and visions of Jesus being a badass and riding in on a horse, chopping off snakes' heads. But beware of a demon pretending to be Jesus who may decapitate your rapists, but could demon-possess you. This movie is kinda awesome. It's a Bruno Mattei kind of true story. Number 9, Pig. Someone takes Nicolas Cage's truffle pig, so he goes into the city to get it back. But this isn't the kind of movie where he goes in guns blazing. This is like a weird odyssey through the underground food scene that involves fight clubs, great scenes where Cage just destroys people with his words, and making the perfect personal dish that can get him the information he needs. Hell, not only did I see a lot of movies in 2021, but I saw a lot of Nicolas Cage movies in 2021, and this was definitely the best. Number 8, The Last Duel. This Rashomon-like duel to the death movie has Matt Damon facing off against his wife's rapist Adam Driver in a duel where both of them are irredeemable assholes for wildly different reasons. Man, this is an intense flick, because the stakes are high here. If Matt Damon loses, his wife burns alive. Then throw in Ben Affleck as this frat boy Caligula-like ruler who loves his wine and orgies, and you got yourself a good time at the movie theater. Number 7, Titan, I'm still probably pronouncing that wrong. This movie is certainly a ride. It could have gone in a bunch of different directions. When it started out, I was like, okay, is this about someone pregnant by a car who's gonna give birth to a smaller car? Or is it like a Beyond the Darkness type serial killer movie? And then she forms this bizarre relationship with a dad who lost his son, so he thinks she's his son. Then she plays along with it like it's a batshit version of The Majestic. The movie is unpredictable, funny, gruesome, sort of sweet in moments, and was the right kind of crazy. Number 6, The Green Knight. Speaking of crazy, this is certainly the year of wild-ass costume flicks. John Boorman would be proud of all of these, especially The Green Knight, which stars Dev Patel and is a quest movie about the worst kind of quest. No one wants to go on a journey where they might get their head cut off. This movie is like taking a stroll through the medieval wastelands and dropping some acid first. You might be riding along just fine, and then boom, giants show up. I had a great time at this flick. Number 5, Nightmare Alley. Guillermo del Toro made a classic film noir with this one, which is all about the downfall of a cocky mind reader who becomes famous in his field, yet despite all the warning signs of people telling him, no, you shouldn't do this con job, no, you have to slow down, the man's success and pride just won't let him do it. Bradley Cooper is amazing here, and it's great going to the movies and seeing this sleazy carnival film with chain smoking and femme fatales, where you know that I don't think this'll end happily. I'm gonna leave this bummed out, and I did. Number 4, Censor. This movie is totally my taste. A movie censor during the early 80s video nasties era receives a new movie which appears to be reenacting the death of her sister, so our lead begins investigating the film, trying to find who made it, and starts losing her shit the more the mystery goes on. I love that it's taking place in an era where if you want to find some effed up banned exploitation movie, you had to ask the guy at the counter who was hiding them behind the desk. There's great little touches about it too, like the aspect ratio slowly changing over the course of it, and a particularly disturbing climax too. Number 3, West Side Story. Steven Spielberg finally gets his chance to direct a big screen musical and knocks it out of the park.
You can just feel the passion and excitement from Spielberg in making this film. And it's one of his most personal movies in a long time. From the choreography to the lighting to a majority of the performances, this movie brings back old Hollywood styles of musicals and line deliveries and does it near perfectly, and even adds a little modern grittiness to it as well. It's one of Spielberg's best in years. Number 2, Licorice Pizza. Paul Thomas Anderson's early 1970s hangout movie is just a hilarious and entertaining as hell journey through the San Fernando Valley in one particular time during a dude's youth. They get caught up in all sorts of adventures like selling waterbeds, opening a pinball arcade, doing some acting, and trying to get away from crazy old John Peters who may or may not kill these kids. The movie is a total slice of life flick, and warts and all just simply feels like a recreation of not just a small part of this guy's life in the early 70s, but also through and through feels like a movie that could have easily existed during that time, and it pulls no punches with that. And my number 1 favorite movie of the year, Joe Carnahan's Cop Shop. I loved everything about this movie. The film is like a modern-day western where a con man hides out in a desert police station until a hitman also makes his way into the holding cells. And the film is chock full of wildly memorable characters having the time of their lives in it. The police have to defend themselves like they're under attack from a one-man assault on Precinct 13 army. And no matter how little screen time a person might have, the movie is still great at still making them real characters and very likable. Frank Grillo and Gerard Butler are excellent, and you're not really sure which one to trust. Toby Huss is the craziest he's ever been and walks away with whole sequences in this. Newcomer Alexis Louder is a revelation as our hero, and Chad Coleman is hilarious as the old-school grumpy-ass chief. This was a great throwback to the kinds of movies I grew up with. Like you'd be watching cable TV late at night and then find something cool like Vice Squad. That's totally what this movie is, and I was so glad I saw it, and hope you all see it too.
Alright, thanks for watching, everyone. Be sure to leave us a comment telling us what your favorite films of the year are, and we'll be back soon enough with our worst of 2021 list.